gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. We're live. I've got the man of the moment, Nikolai Naylor. How the devil are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Ashley, on this podcast.
So why am I calling you the man of the moment then? Come on.
Because it's the book launch day. So we have my book, the firm you want. So I've got a few little things in here.
Awesome.
Launching today.
So how exciting! How exciting is that?
Available now.
Yeah. How exciting is that?
It's very good. It's just I'm glad it's now finally finished. Well, there'll be little added bits that we're adding in, but it's all done. We've got photos added. We've got it's so much more engagement than the proof. So we've got great feedback from the proof. So yes, no, it's brilliant. I'm just pleased this is done and we can move to the next level or next stage. Because I've got to do the Audible yet, Ashley. So that's my next bit, is doing the Audible for the book.
Oh, well done. That is really cool. That's really cool. We've gone straight into the book, but nobody knows who you are. So give us a little, who are you, Nikolai? No, it's my fault. I'm the one asking the questions. I'm really excited for you because writing a book is pretty incredible. Hold your book up. Hold your book up so we can see
it's got loads of bits in it.
Look at that. Look at that. 2 authors on one show.
And I've got to say, everyone, Ashley's helped me, actually inspired me to do this only because he was pushing me to do it and helped me through us helping each other every week, just making sure we were getting work done. So thank you, Ash.
No, absolutely. So go on, you're going to tell us who Nikolai Naylor is. What does he do?
Who am I? So I'm Nikolai Naylor. I have an accountancy practice, Naylor Accountancy Services. We're based in Tunbridge Wells, and we are there's 11 of us. We're just doing an acquisition in the 1st of October. So that's happening. That will basically double us again. So we're good. And then we're going to be looking at acquisitions every year. Every day would be a nightmare. And the reason for that is we've got it working. It's all working really well. We have offshoring in the Philippines because they have another business called Intelligent Outsourcing. And there we have people working for Naylor Accountancy Services. We have 8 there, including an admin who speak to clients and everything. But we also offer that for other accountancy practices. So initially I started that just for friends, and now it's for everybody basically who's got accounting practice, as long as you are the right person and the right fit for the way we operate. So that's how we're growing. And so that's me. And I've got a dog, which you might see behind me, and 2 kids and a wife.
Fantastic. And a chair full of books. I love that. I thought
I'd a product place, Ashley.
No, absolutely.
Hamster. I don't know if you've noticed.
There's the hamster. There's the hamster. You're going to have to get the hamster because we want the hamster on the show. Victoria Russell's saying it's a great book. So she's obviously read the proof copy. LinkedIn user, we don't know who you are. So thank you for saying congratulations in caps lock. And Paul Newton is saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too, Paul. So it's the day of the book launch.
Yes.
And we've both written books. And obviously I was working with you while you were writing your book. It's hard work, isn't it? What kept you going? Why did you finish it? Why did you publish it? Because so many people start and never finish. So what was your motivation?
Well, that's interesting, because if I start something, I finish it. So that's the first thing.
Okay, that's good.
And so I just planned it, and then, but what's interesting, it's become more than I thought it would be. And I don't mean that to big up the book, but by actually planning it and then writing it, it's actually helped me as well to realize what I've done, my journey that I've done already. And there's more to my journey. I mean, my journey's only just started. And all I'm doing is playing. I've learned from people, books, everything that I've done to create what I've created. And I've got leadership teams in there to help grow that, and with the vision and everything. So yeah, it's inspired me to do more. Bizarrely, I want to write more books now, which is all your fault actually. So I apologise for everyone else out there.
It's not
But
my fault.
it's your fault that I'm writing books. I actually enjoy it. Some people don't, because I've been speaking to quite a lot of people who've written books. But I actually really enjoyed it. I find it therapeutic. The only issue I had was finding time to do it, because I wasn't really getting the time that I want. But I will be looking to get more time going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's the difficult thing. So if you start something, you're going to finish it, and there's a lot of people like that. If I turn around and say I'm going to do something, I jolly well will do it.
Yes.
I might pull my hair out or scream and shout or kick the cat. I don't have a cat, so that's just a figure of speech. But how did it feel when you opened up that new book? When you opened up, because the book today,
yes,
it's already it's the same book that's been, tidied up, made, you've done an awful lot more to it. But when you first opened the very first book, when it first came to you, your first proof copy, what was that feeling? But what was the feeling like? What was the feeling like?
That was amazing for me. That was amazing. There's like all words, nothing else in it. It's literally just words, because I thought a book was just words. I didn't think it was anything else. But then someone, lovely Lena, said, I'll bring this book over.
And the hamster. And the hamster. Yeah.
But with this book, so Lena said, well, get photos in there, bring it to life more. Don't just have words. So we've got photos in, with our meetings. So that actually brought it more sort of to life. And hopefully it will actually explain more. I mean, that's just doing one of our annual planning meetings with the SWOT analysis on the wall. So it just brings it to life more. And then we've got quotes in here, just that's our leadership team in the Philippines, like when we have annual planning. So it just brings it to a bit more life. And I've got to show you this, Ash. I think this is the one. Where are you? You were in a few times, I think, but you are there.
With the yellow T-shirt on.
With the yellow T-shirt, that's that Accountants. But I've got a few pages just for fun at the end, just with hashtag.
People love photos, don't they?
But I didn't appreciate it as much. It was only Lena that actually brought it to me. So thank you, Lena, for that.
No, fantastic.
So I think it's a more enjoyable book to read now as well.
No, and a bit of fun, and you can leave it on the coffee table. I do love this. What Paul said: if you start something, you'll finish it. That puts you ahead of a lot of business owners. So true, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
So true, and a lot of authors as well, or would-be authors. I don't know what the stats are, but loads of people want to write a book. Loads of people start a book. So less people start a book, less people finish a book, and less people actually publish it and get it out and actually have a physical book.
That's an interesting one,
yeah. And then we've got a book launch today.
Yes.
Sadly, I'm in Devon, but where is it? Where is it? What you're doing? Tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, we're in London. We're at the Zero headquarters in London. Well, not headquarters, that's Milton Keynes, but their office there. And the lovely Diane Holden's going to be there, asking me a few questions, fireside chat, and we've got some drinks in and just a few. It's a small little group because there's not that much space there. So it'll be really intimate and nice. I'm looking forward to it. Although I'm still nervous about all this, Ash, because it's all of a sudden coming to a sort of crescendo.
But look, you deserve to celebrate writing a book. All right. Now, there's people watching, there's people listening on the podcast, and they're thinking about starting a book. What should they be doing?
The first thing I would just say with anybody is just plan it. So just plan the book. So think of the headings, think of what you want to write about first, and then just think of it. So all I did is at Christmas this year, I just put a load of title. I put a load of chapter headings that I thought, this is what I do. This is like my journey. This is what's made us able to grow and actually go and do acquisitions and just feed them in and make it grow and work. So I just did that basically, and then start writing. So I just started writing a chapter. Don't worry about it being perfect, because you can rewrite it later, and you can have people editing it for you as well. So it's just getting it done, getting it on paper.
Okay.
Or keep going as well.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's the motivation to keep going and you know and seeing the end. And I think when you're doing something, we see the pain that we've got right now. Like exercising, for example. I know you go to the gym. I do my sit-ups every morning, and I'm there doing my sit-ups and what have you. And I'm thinking, oh, I really couldn't be doing this. I really don't want to be doing this, etc., etc. But all I'm thinking about is when my grandson wants to go and play football down the park, I'll be able to chase him around the park with the ball. Yeah. Yes. I won't be sat in a chair saying I'm too old, I can't move or anything like that. So when you're sat there at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning, when you could be having a lie-in, writing your book, you're sat there thinking, yeah, but on the 13th of September, I'm going to be having a book launch.
Yeah, I actually thought I'd do it earlier than this because I'm always very optimistic. I thought it'd be July, but it took a little bit longer to get there. But yeah, no, I think you just keep going. It's a habit, like Atomic Habits. James Clear. You just have to keep those habits and then just do it and diarize it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, put it in your diary and it gets done. Okay, so you've written a book, and the book is your story of how you've grown your business from a little, accountancy practice to something that's quite sizable, something that you're not in it day to day. And there's a lot of accountants that I work with, talk to, that are just busy doing sets of accounts, tax returns, talking to clients, kicking staff, or whatever else you do as a practice owner. And you don't seem to do that because you've systemized things and stuff like that. So tell us a few things that we're going to learn from reading the book, and how can we become a business owner like yourself rather than working in the practice.
So I mean, the first thing is and that's why I start the book. So I started with you. So first of all, you. So you need to look at yourself and see because this is what happened to me. I was not believing that other people could do things, or trusting them to do things. I thought I could do it. So it's looking at you and where you are, and just seeing. And I sort of go through that in here, what you need to look at in yourself and what you need to do, like let go, it's delegate and everything. And even in my mastermind group yesterday, we're having conversations with someone who's finding it difficult to let go because his work is very difficult, but he needs to trust other people to then learn from it and be able to deal with things. But it's difficult to let go. So it's looking at that. But then once you've got that, you need to also be looking at the rhythm of your business, I call it. And that's like the structure. So, and it's just doing things the same all the time. So we have a weekly meeting with the leadership team. So first of all, create a leadership team. And then also have a daily huddle. We have daily huddles. I'm not saying have a daily huddle, but a regular huddle with your team, so everybody knows what they're doing. And then you have a quarterly, review meeting where you create projects. And then you have an annual review to create your vision, make sure you're happy with your vision and everything. So it's creating a roadmap to work on. If you don't have a vision and you don't have a roadmap, what you're doing is difficult to get off the hamster wheel, which is where he comes in. Oh, wrong way around. He comes in because if you're on the hamster wheel just going round and round, like this little boy here, that man, sorry, that he then you're not able to think what you want to do strategically. I mean, like even writing the book, I wouldn't have had time to write the book before I'd got the structure. And I run a different business as well. And we've just introduced a 4-day week there. And that wasn't a mean feat. So we've got lots happening. So I get involved with the strategy, but you do need to create the environment that allows you to do that. But that starts with you, then the structure, and then you've got everything that around after that as well, like your vision and everything like that, and your structure of your business. But the rhythm of the business, I think, is really important once you've sorted yourself out.
Yeah, no, that's incredible, because we're all running our own business, and I'm doing it here. I'm never going to have a business of your size because of because of what I do and things like that. But it's like, oh, hang on, I could get someone to do this, I could get someone to do that. But then you're relinquishing control. How do you get over that hurdle? Because, if I was an accountant, I've set up a practice. I do my accounts in a specific way, and my clients love them, and I do the tax return, and my clients love them. But that's fine when I've only got 15 clients. But if I've got 150 clients, there is no way I can do all of that work. So I've got to give it to somebody else. And so how do you divorce yourself from that and trust somebody else to do it? Because that's the difficult thing, isn't it, Nikolai?
Yeah, I mean, the most difficult thing is creating the A team. So I have it in here. So I forgot about that. There's a whole chapter on team, because having the right team is so key. So I have client managers and an operational manager in the Philippines who looks after the compliance out there and the team there. And that all works amazingly. We have a leadership meeting, but the trust took a while to build up for me. I mean, I've got a story in the book just about me at the start, where I had actually Dee, who's second commander of intelligent outsourcing. She came to Naylor Accountancy first, doing bookkeeping and secretariat stuff. And I wouldn't give her setting up a company or the company secretariat, which is, if you're an accountant and bookkeeper, you know what that means. So I used to do it myself, and then I gave her it after 6 months to a year of working for me. And she said, well, why didn't you give me it earlier? And it made me realize I was holding on to things because I thought I was the only one that can do it. And most of us accountants and bookkeepers are the same, because we've done training, we know what we're doing, we don't think other people can be as good as us. And I had that with the acquisition I took on, which was very painful. I was in a dark place then because it was awful. But that was because of people leaving as well, who I thought I was bringing on with me from the acquisition. But if you don't trust other people, you're not going to grow those other people either. And you need to. I've got a little chapter in here as well, a section in there on allowing people to make mistakes, because people make mistakes. But you have to learn, like Henry Ford said, as long as you learn from mistakes. He didn't say quite like this, but as long as you learn from mistakes, that's fine. The worst mistake is not the one that you don't learn from.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? If you don't try anything, you're not going to make mistakes.
Yes.
But you're not going to grow.
Yeah.
You're not going to grow. I just want to pull in Paul, because he's saying about the book. My book has brought me so many opportunities that it's ridiculous. It far outweighs the hassle and the grief I went through to write it. Absolutely, Paul. And yeah. So
brilliant, Paul.
Well, no, it's exactly the same with this, because it's a different thing. And Jude is just saying here, and this is another thing, because you said about a roadmap, a vision and stuff like that, and goals. If you don't have a goal and the right roadmap, it would be hard for someone to get out of the hamster wheel. Awesome takeaways, and I couldn't agree more. Thank you for reminding us. Thank you, Jude.
Thanks, Jude.
Yeah, and the hamster. Come on, why hashtag hamster? When I promoted this show, I don't know if you didn't say anything about it, but I've called you the hamster guy.
Yes.
So come on, tell us about the hamster guy. Why are we calling you the hamster guy?
So in reality, it's not me that's the hamster guy. It's the whole team behind me. So I'm not the hamster. And a group of hamsters called a horde, by the way. I looked it up. So
all right, okay. Start learning all these hamster facts. That's hilarious.
Somebody asked me yesterday, and I had no idea, so I had to Google it. But with hashtag, so the whole point with hamster becomes, I used to speak to potential, people who were clients before they became clients of intelligent outsourcing. And they were saying repeatedly that I feel like a hamster in a wheel. So I'm just running around, not able to do anything. And effectively what that meant was they couldn't do added value work with clients. They couldn't speak to clients as much. And that means you're not going to get EWOs, extra work orders. So give them extra, have a better relationship with them, get more referrals, grow the business, spend time with your family. And actually just relax more, because people ended up just doing the compliance work and then just, finish, next one. So what we say is, let us, intelligent outsourcing, be your hamsters. So let us do your compliance, bookkeeping, your secretariat, whatever it is you want, using your systems and processes, because it's offshoring, it's not outsourcing. So we say offshoring is the most intelligent way to outsource, because they become effectively one of your team. So that's why the hamster, and that's why the hamster guy. So I am the hamster guy, but it's really, I've got a team of hamsters that work, for us and everybody else. So we are all very busy.
And so you're outsourcing in the Philippines.
Yes.
That came to happen because you couldn't find enough team members in the UK. Is that right?
Yeah. So we created. So it started with just for me, Naylor Accountancy Services. So what we did, we're struggling to get people, because where I am is in Tunbridge Wells. People don't like leaving their jobs if they're accountants. They tend to be very sticky. And then also we're very close to London. So people in London earn a lot more than they do in Tunbridge Wells. So it's very difficult to find good accountants in this area. And we hear it all the time at the moment from all accountants that they're struggling to find good accountants, or even find anybody to interview, because people either going into industry because it does pay more than practice, or they're just not moving, especially with the environment that we're in right now, that people don't really want to move so much. So that's why then I started it for friends and everything, and then it grew from there. But yes, so we had an issue actually recruiting.
And so you can't beat them, join them, set up your own. And so how many people have you got out in the Philippines now then?
There's just over 100, I believe. It keeps sort of changing because we keep hiring. So
yep.
I'm not sure. But we've got like a great training program. We've learned so much, because we started in 2016. I actually started before then with Naylor, but that's officially. So we've learned so much over COVID. That was tough, because that wasn't an easy time for anybody. But we were blessed, because nobody was really impacted apart from one accountant. But what we were blessed about, because they were in the Philippines, they became the breadwinners for most of their families, in the whole family, because all business shut down. Everybody was locked up in their buildings. So we felt that privileged that we were able to help those people through, and their families through COVID. And then through the back end of COVID it's all back to normal now.
No, absolutely fantastic. Okay, so you've also mentioned 4-day week.
Yes.
All right. So we hear it bandied around. We hear people talking about it and stuff like that. And it sounds a great idea, but how was that, implementing that, and what's the benefit to you, your clients, your team?
Yeah, so the 4-day week, we've sort of implemented an Andrew Barnes method. So he's the guy in New Zealand. He's a Brit, but in New Zealand has really been pushing it throughout the world. We've had to transform it slightly, so it works for our partners basically. So what it means is better well-being for our team. We are piloting it for 6 months, because productivity has to retain the same, and level of service. And it should. So they're working effectively 36 hours in the Philippines in 4 days. Before they were working 40. So we're gifting them 4 hours. But the way it works is that the productivity is there, and they operate, the 9 hour a day, basically. And it's been difficult to implement, because the contract's the same. The legal, you've got to work out all the legals, and it's not easy. And then we've got to get the partners on board. The benefit to the team members is well-being. They can do other things. Say Stephanie, my EA, she's saying, great, I can now, not only if she wants to spend more time with her son and me, she can, but she's wanting to do some studying that she'd always wanted to do as well in that day off. So she's going to be joining courses and things like that. We've got people who they come and work where we are, and they go at the weekend back to see their families. So they now are able to have more time with their families at home. That's how they operate a lot in the Philippines. And then the benefit to our partners, intelligent outsourcing, is that it's retention. So it's better retention, because there's a massive demand for offshore accountants at the moment in the whole world, basically. India, Philippines, just everywhere, because the whole world is sort of opened its eyes up that you can do offshoring, outsourcing, which people were wary of prior to COVID. So it's retention, and also so we can get better, we can get really good candidates coming in as well. So it's which will help our partners grow their practices, because people practices tend to get one person and then grow the practice, grow their team with their practice, so that then their team in the UK can focus on that added value, speaking to clients and everything like that.
No,
does that make sense, Ash?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I think it's an absolutely brilliant day, and I'm idea, and I'm trying to implement it in this business. We're currently working a 4.5 day week, but
that's good. I thought you were, because I'm trying to get hold of you on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, there you go. Right, okay, we've nearly run out of time. You got your book launch in a minute, so good luck with that. But next week you're going to be at Accountex North, and will you be giving your book away to anybody that comes to the stand?
Yeah. So this book is available now on Amazon, and we've got it at a lower price at the moment. It is in color, so the price is higher, unfortunately, because of the color. But we will be giving this away for free at Accountex. We will be sort of asking for your details on it and having a conversation with you. So if you're at an Accountex Manchester, pop along to stand G15, and we'll be able to give you this there. And if you've got any questions for me, just pop along to the stand as well. Just ask me any questions you like, basically.
No, fantastic.
Or anything.
And I'll be there as well,
Yes.
Nikolai, with you, because people can book 10 minutes with me, and I will go through their LinkedIn profile and help them with that as well. So if you don't want to see Nikolai and you want to see me, then come to Nikolai's stand anyway. So you can see me, and you can get a copy of Nikolai's book.
And I don't know if everyone knows, but Ashley is actually speaking at Accountex Manchester as well. So it's definitely worth going along to his speech.
Well, definitely worth going along to Accountex, because there's gonna be a lot of people there. Karen likes a 4-day week when working from home. So no, absolutely perfect. Nikolai, what question haven't I asked you today?
So, well, one thing is, I don't know, is the importance of team. So I've mentioned it, I have a whole thing, but if you don't have a good team and you don't actually like the A team, it's very difficult to sort of step back if you've got an accountancy practice. If you want to be doing, some people doing compliance, that's great. But what I'd say is focus on the A team and building that. And it took me the time to get a really good client managers in order for me to step back as much as I have, basically. Without that, it's very difficult, because people will always come to you. So get that A team. But my book should help you a little bit in that, and just get the structure around there. It's very practical. It's not rocket science. It's very easy to implement, in my opinion, but it's just consistency.
Love that. A great way to end the show. Nikolai, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to seeing you next week. Good luck this afternoon. Thank you to everybody for joining in. Thank you for your questions and your comments. And we will be back again very soon. Cheerio now.
Yeah, thanks, Ash.
You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna